Hello and welcome to Jedi and the Mailman, show where two old friends aim to deliver the best Star Wars talk in the galaxy. I'm Mike the Mailman. That's Jimmy the Jedi. And Jimmy,
I miss you, Mike.
I do too. I can't reach over and touch you
I
anymore.
know. That makes me sad.
Quick question.
7.
When's the last time you got excited about candy?
Last time I got excited about candy. Well,
Yeah.
if people don't know this about me, I have a bit of a sweet tooth, so
Do ya?
probably like 7-8 minutes ago.
Oh, wow.
What about you?
I was just thinking about this the other day. I went into Sheets, as I often do, because it's the only place on that side of town where I can use the
Explain
restroom.
Sheets to everybody who doesn't know the gloriousness that is Sheets.
Sheets is just your 7-Eleven. Your
Just a timeout.
something.
Stop. You need to show respect to the institution.
You
that
know,
is Sheets.
I used to be a real big fan of Sheets, but they have gone downhill quite a bit.
The prices have gotten kind of up.
They've gotten out of
Notice
control.
that.
You could always count on Sheets for a clean restroom, and it's not the case anymore ever since COVID, which I don't know. A lot of things have happened ever since COVID, but yeah, it's just not the same. But so I was going into Sheets and I saw like some sort of crap candy on the shelf, and I'm like, who even buys that sort of stuff anymore? And it got me thinking to back when we were kids, and somebody gives you like $2 and you go to the penny candy shop. You know what I mean? Do you remember?
Frank.
Like yeah, right there by the swimming pool, or we'd walk down Fleagle Road, to that other candy shop, and that crap candy that's on the shelf at Sheets that probably nobody buys. Like that was it for us, dude. Like how much can I get with this $1.50 that I have? Just reminiscing about old times. Row.
Tahoo in the house. Wonder what kind of candy they eat in New Zealand and Australia. What's your favorite candy, Tahoo? Guy probably doesn't eat candy.
Probably not.
It's a rock and roller.
But yeah, it's a little crazy. Like there's 300 different varieties of Reese Cup now. Yeah. So, who's getting excited over Sour Patch Kids and Gumballs and Jawbreakers? Are you right there? All right.
Gummy bear or gummy stuff, yes.
Oh, yeah.
But the rest of them.
Gummy bears are special, aren't they?
Yeah.
There's something about it
here and there and everywhere.
Mm-hmm.
High adventure, non-compare. They are the gummy bears. Look at that, folks.
I didn't even know that rhyme.
God, that's from the Saturday morning cartoon, the Gummy Bears.
I don't remember that.
Oh, they take the gummy berry juice and they bang, 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 bang.
Man, it's been too long.
Man.
New Zealand chocolate.
Yeah, let's go.
I've heard.
Give me my address. Might be some high tariffs on it, though, so we'll wait.
Yeah, no kidding. Sneak that stuff in somehow. Yeah, I've heard chocolate is much better in different parts of the world. People say that our milk chocolate is crap.
I don't know.
I don't know. I'm not much of a chocolate fan. You mix it with peanut butter, you can't go wrong, but I'm not a sit down and eat a Hershey bar kind of guy.
All right, I'm sorry.
Yeah, it is what it is.
So you did or did not get excited for candy?
I didn't. No.
Oh man,
this
is a sad show, folks.
I know.
Man,
I just
didn't know the Gummy Bear song.
Nope.
You do like gummy bears?
I do.
I'll bring you some next time. I'm in PA, and then you didn't get excited about candy. That makes me sad.
The last candy I got, somebody bought me Reese's peanut butter and jelly cups. Those things are disgusting. Yeah, because I got 2 packs. I tried one and it was awful.
Really good. The fudge one's really good.
Is it?
Yeah. So, as a connoisseur, I thought it was all right.
Okay.
So,
I like the white chocolate ones.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tally's all about the rugby.
There he is, man. Rugby king. All right. So we're not here to talk about candy, though, I don't think.
No, we're rugby, unfortunately. No, we're here to talk about
I don't think
Ahsoka,
I could fill 5 minutes with what I know about rugby.
No, me
I
neither.
don't know anything about rugby.
It's a bunch of
Tahoe,
guys.
start a podcast about rugby, and we will be your first 2 followers.
It seems like a fun sport. I'd like to get to
Seems,
watch.
seems
Like,
scary and dangerous at our age.
yeah. Oh yeah. No, I'm not playing. That's for sure. Croquet's a little bit too hardcore for me right now.
Oh man.
Oh, so how's being back in Kansas, buddy?
Stormy. It's
Yeah.
really, really hot, really, and then it just all of a
Yes.
sudden storms came up. We got rained on this morning on a run when it wasn't supposed to be any rain. We got rained on just this evening. There were supposed to be no storms, so it's been weird.
Yeah.
Um, it's good to be home, like back and getting into the rhythm of things. We got about a month before school or training starts for school, and then but other than that,
Summer goes too quick, doesn't it?
it goes by real fast when you're a teacher.
It could go by faster for me. I'm sick of it already.
Yes. We wouldn't be able to do much but ask questions.
Yeah. Which could be interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah, it has been steamy hot around here, like a damn jungle. I'm so chafed everywhere. I can't sit comfortably. I can't
We're
move
like, what are we
comfortably.
watching right now? We will get to Star Wars, folks. I promise.
Yeah, we just
You had
gotta
to hear
catch
about
up
the
a little bit.
chafing in our Discord. Not that
Yeah.
was the Discord, but in
God,
the WhatsApp.
it's terrible. Like
I've been
it's
watching.
bad enough that it's so hot. You're just so sweaty, and you can't even like the slightest movement just hurts after a while. It's
Man,
I hate my job right now.
yes. Oh,
But yeah, we are here to talk about Star Wars. We had on our docket a little bit of Ahsoka talk. Now
yeah.
we were going to get into this last week because there's been a bunch of little articles coming out here and there. I mean, none of them say much of anything. A lot of speculation and whatnot. But hey, that's what we're good at, speculating. So we'll kind of talk about a couple of these articles, what they say, what they don't say, and maybe some ideas like what we'd like to see, what we think we're going to see, that sort of thing.
Yeah.
The
And if you
usual.
guys in the comments over on Instagram and here, YouTube, let us know what you think as we're going. Ideas, who will, who won't show up. I still got the warning on StreamYard about some issues with Instagram, so we'll do our best over there. But I got my 2 screens rolling again, so I'm highly distracted.
So, did you know that they were shooting Ahsoka already? Season
Yes,
2? Did you?
they
Why
left.
didn't you tell
They
me?
left. We did tell you.
I don't
They
remember.
left. They left from Celebration
Yeah,
to start
to start shooting.
recording or start filming that Friday. So like Celebration ended, a bunch of them were there, Filoni and those guys, and they talked about how they were flying to, I'm assuming Pinewood, to
Yeah.
start filming.
See, I didn't even realize or remember or whatever.
Yeah,
Because I read that first article, 2 weeks ago or whatever, and mentioned that they're filming. I'm like, holy crap! How did I not know this? So, how excited are you for Ahsoka season 2? And when it's not? I know it's not this year. It's sometime next year, maybe.
yeah, I think so. I don't know if we have a definite time.
Yeah.
So we got this panel when we were at Celebration, Ahsoka season 2 panel, and there wasn't much for them to tell us like new stuff. They did show us a trailer in the style of what they did for, I think it was Empire Strikes Back, where they didn't have any footage, but they needed to make a trailer for it. And a lot of it was just, some grit. It was all grainy and stuff like that. It was fun. It was like
Yeah.
an 80s TV or whatever. But they did show us a ton of like Dave Filoni's artwork. I think that guy needs to sell a book with his artwork in it from all the different things he does. Like, I mean, it'd be a niche thing, but I mean, Star Wars fans would probably eat that up if you could get all of his little, stuff from the past. He doesn't need to give us anything new, or maybe at the end of
Right.
it, there's something that kind of gives us a little hint of what's next. But so Flash, it showed us a bunch of things. It showed us some, and then there were some like models that had been built, like tiny, like little dioramas. Is that what they call them? Yeah, dioramas kind of thing. And it was a quick trailer, but that, I mean, it's hard to know because you're in that group of like, a couple thousand Star Wars fans. So you're like, they could they could show you whatever, and you're like, wow.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I was pretty fired up after that. I mean, I've been excited for it. The way it ended. I mean, the only thing that has tempered my excitement for an Ahsoka season 2 at all was the passing of Roy Stevenson.
Yeah.
Stevens. Um, just, I'm sure that Rory McCain is going to do an amazing job. Like, he's an awesome actor. And I loved him in Game of Thrones. He's got some
Yeah.
scenes and things like that. I know we did a little, but that's the only thing that's tempered me. So for me, I'm like,
Yeah.
let's go, man. I can't wait. I think it's going to get weird. I think that's what I want. I'm here for it. There's going to be some lore. We're going to dive into some lore that we really haven't, in the main movies, we get these little tidbits. We get this little like scratching the surface stuff.
Yeah.
And then you bring in the guy, Dave Filoni, who took Clone Wars and Rebels and Bad Batch and really dives into the lore. And I think we're going to get it. It's going to be like that live action, because we didn't get a ton. I didn't think, like, we got stuff, but we don't know anything still.
No, we don't.
I'm super excited. What about you?
Yeah, I'm pretty excited. I don't rewatch things a whole lot. There's always, so much new stuff to get into that I rarely ever rewatch anything. But I really think I need to rewatch Ahsoka, just because when I watched season 1 is before I watched Rebels or anything like that. It's as I was just getting my feet wet with this whole
That's when you first came on
reintroduction
the
of
show,
Star Wars
right?
thing. Yeah.
Okay.
So I definitely want to rewatch it, get a good feel for it, with all the new knowledge and whatnot that I have, get that sort of excitement that everybody else got, because they had all the lore. They it was different for them. So I do want to rewatch it, and I'm for the same sort of reasons you listed there. I mean, I'm excited for really. I mean, all of Filoni's stuff, all like the Clone Wars and stuff like that. It's like you got so in depth with things. Like I've told you before how, and I think you were on the same page as me. Like especially early, when the prequels came out, we weren't huge fans of it, but we talk all the time about how like the Clone Wars rehabbed all that and stuff. And that's like love the prequel story. I still don't think I'm a fan of the movies, and we're going to get into the movies at some point here coming up. But see how I feel about them again. But I love the whole story, and this is continuing that storytelling. You know what I mean? Just continuing that story, and I'm real excited to see where it goes, and kind of like you said, getting into the wild, the weird, the real the real crazy aspects of Star Wars. I think it can be really cool. So yeah, I'm down for it. I have the same reservations. It would suck that Ray Stevens died. I mean, that's a big shoes to fill. But Rory is like you said, an incredible actor, and I mean, I don't think they could have picked a better guy to.
No,
I mean, I'm certainly intrigued about how he's going to play this and how it's going to work. So it should be cool.
Who wants to do a rewatch stream, which
Yeah.
I'd be down for. Maybe we do that like the weeks leading up to Ahsoka season 2 or something, or maybe we do a little extra. I know we've been looking for some other content. I've had this Lego set out to build live forever. I just haven't
got around to it.
No, so
Life is busy.
I would definitely be down for us to do a rewatch as a group. That'd be pretty cool.
It would be.
Yo, Twinkle Boogie Gaming.
This is a new fan on our chat here.
New listener. Yeah, I'd definitely 100% be down to do a rewatch of some sort. Some of the shows that I like, Guy Who Loves Star Wars and things like that, they did it for Andor, leading up to Andor and things, and I think that'd be fun.
Yeah, it definitely would be fun.
We get that sorted and we could figure that out. I think we're doing good. How are you doing? Let's call you TBG. How's it going? Are you excited for Ahsoka season 2?
So, as we're waiting for a reply here, we like I said, there was about 4 different articles that came out in the past 2 weeks about Ahsoka season 2. Really didn't get into much, but we'll kind of go through them here. The first one I have is from Screen Rant, and the writer from that one is Lewis Glazebrook, I think.
Sure.
It's really small, and I don't have my glasses on, but
Mike's old.
it's I've seen you in glasses too, there, buddy.
Yeah.
It's talking. The title of it's "I'm convinced Star Wars just set up Skeleton Crew season 2." So, I mean, it's more about Skeleton Crew having another season, which I'd love to talk about too, and I'd love to see. But it also links in with Ahsoka. I mean, if you guys want to check out that article, feel free. But the gist of the article is apparently Star Wars released a new interactive star map, and of course, with the release of Skeleton Crew, Ad-Atten is now on that star map.
Mm-hmm.
And apparently, some people, poking around looking at this star map, have found that Ad-Atten is suspiciously close to Grand Admiral Thrawn's base. I guess Ad-Atten is not far from, and it's not Peridia because Peridia is in a different galaxy, but it's not far from Dathomir.
Ooh.
Oh,
No wonder they want to stay hidden. You don't want those
right.
Dathomirians coming over with their spider legs and witch magic. Is that a giant green screen behind you, Mike?
It is not. It is. We had last week, we finally had good enough weather to have a movie night out on my deck. This is the projection screen for that. I have not torn it down. I am in this. Jimmy knows how big this room is, and I'm crammed in here because I got the screen behind me. I got the projector sitting right here. It's a mess in here. So I'm crammed in a tiny little space. It's just my projection screen back there.
It enhances your wonderful looks.
Why, thank you.
That's
what I was going for.
The actress who played Shin Hati was filming something in New Zealand, was a surprise guest as a toy show in my hometown. No one ever goes there. Oh, man.
Wow.
Yeah, we're going to talk about it in a little bit.
Yeah, there's another article. That's the next one we're going to reference. But yeah. So what do you think about any connection? What do you think? First off, do you think we're going to get a season 2 of Skeleton Crew? Yeah. You guys talked a little bit about this today.
Yeah.
Well, you talked about it Sunday, but it released today on the ETF podcast.
Yes. Charlie and I talked about that. I do think there's a season 2. We've had Kiriana, who played KB, and we've had Ravi, who played Wim, and they both were like dismissive of it. But then Ravi, of course, he was like, well, yeah, I leave to start filming something and I can't talk about it. We have no idea what it is. They're all eager to do it. And then from the article that we read, we believe that something's in the works because Chris Ford, was it Chris Ford? Said he's going to get in trouble. I can't remember which one. I know they interviewed. It was John Watts.
John Watts, yeah.
He was saying that you guys are going to get me in trouble. I can't say anything else. And so
those statements really got me thinking. Like that.
Yeah, I mean, that'd be silly not to. It's pretty good show. The only thing that bothers me is that Hank hasn't watched it yet.
Yeah,
and I didn't get a chance to sit him down and force him to watch it.
So. Well, Hank did watch Andor.
Yeah, and he loved it.
Surprising. So, I mean, maybe he's mature beyond his years. That kid stuff, he's leaving it behind.
Yeah, but
I don't know. I mean, we're definitely mature beyond our years, but I freaking loved Skeleton Crew. Yeah. I mean, I can't believe the ratings weren't better. I mean, I guess we don't really know anything about ratings. You get those viewed numbers, minutes watched or whatever, and they mean absolutely nothing to me. I mean, what is that? 1 million minutes watched doesn't mean anything to me. There's nothing to compare it to. I don't know what that means, but I can't believe, I can believe that the whole streaming era, like everything is so fractured and weird, and I don't know, but it's such a good show. If more eyeballs got on it, I can't believe that people wouldn't enjoy it. So, and if everybody's game to come back, it's such a great story. They did such a good job with it. I can't believe that you wouldn't want to do a season 2.
So. Yeah, but who knows? I mean, we don't know exactly when Skeleton Crew took place, do we? I don't know if there's
not really. I mean,
so
Other
But yeah,
than,
I mean, there's definitely, if it's happening simultaneously and they have some things,
mhm.
TB, TBG says bye. See ya, Twinkle.
Hey, see ya. Hope you come
So,
back sometime.
um, yeah, I mean, that would be cool. I, I mean, it would fit in that genre. Like,
Hmm.
we talked about how, like, I didn't want to see, like, the Ahsoka crew in
Yeah.
Andor, even though it could have worked. This
Yeah.
would work. This would match up. I mean, I had wrongfully said I thought maybe the kids were going to get shot off in their ship, the
Yeah.
Onyx
End
Cinder,
up
and
in
end up like in
Bridia.
Peridia or something,
Hmm.
and that's how they're going to bring them back. So I mean, I kind of assumed that there was going to be some connection,
Yeah.
but who knows? And I don't know. Like I said, I think I said on the podcast too. Like we know there's a Spider-Man 4, but we don't know the timing of it
Yeah.
necessarily, like when it's coming out and how it's fitting into things. And so, I mean,
Yeah. When their schedule might be freed
Ford
up.
and, Ford and Watts said they had a plan for season two.
Hmm.
It was not going to be one of those things where it was here we go. Wonder who this could be. Jackie Boy.
Someone who
So,
is in a much better time zone and
yes,
can
he's going
actually
to,
interact with us again.
yes. And he'll be on the show sporadically as well.
Yes.
He gets rolling gets the quiz show back up and running,
Yeah. I can't
which
wait for
will be
that.
good because I enjoyed that watching that during my plan.
Yeah.
So, but
I can
yeah, so
imagine moving to a new country halfway across the world is a little busy. I'd
yeah,
imagine he's a little busy.
dude has been he's been running around like a crazy man. That's why he wasn't able to record with us on Sunday. But
But he
he'll
made time for the rodeo.
yes, rodeo's
Yeah.
great, I guess. I mean, I know our conversation went weird, but um, so Skeleton Crew season 2 needs to happen, but I think it could follow Jude Law rather than the kids. Okay.
Mm,
I know that
he just
Watson
wants to be
Ford,
an extra.
yeah, Watson Ford's, yeah, that's what it is. He wants to be a stuntman or fill-in. Watson Ford said they had to plan. It was going to have a time jump, and that way they didn't have what they called the uh, Stranger Things issues, where these
Yeah.
kids are all looking
Yeah.
like young adults and they're
Hmm.
still acting like they're
In
whatever.
their late 20s, trying to be
Yeah,
12.
yeah. So they have a plan. They've thought about it. So yeah, I'm here for it. I think it would work.
Yeah. Yeah. I'd love to see it connected with Ahsoka season 2. I'd love to see we get Ahsoka season 2, and that's the next thing it rolls out. I'd love to see the Star Wars shows start coming out and, having something to look forward to. As one's finishing up, you got another one down the line. I mean,
Yeah, I mean, originally I think that was the plan, and then whatever.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah. The other thing I was thinking about too, I think you guys talked about this on the live show, and you were just, I don't remember what context, but the fact, like, the whole streaming world, the whole movie world, like, it's all fractured and everything's unsure. We don't know when they're going to do this or when they're going to do that. I sort of think that the whole world's kind of in that situation right now. Nobody can plan ahead. Like,
No, it seemed like
when
it.
when your president announces that he's going to put tariffs on things, and even he announced tariffs on the movie industry at
Yeah,
one
he
point.
did. Yeah,
Like, these people are they're preparing to, especially the movie industry. We know a little bit about the movie industry just because we're so invested in it and we listen to so many podcasts and stuff on it. But, like, you don't decide you're going to shoot a movie and go out tomorrow and do that.
no,
It's a years long process. And if you have no idea what the finances are going to be 4 or 5 years down the road, how do you plan to, you know what I mean? Like, it's a crazy time for
I
any of
get
this
it.
stuff.
I mean, I think a lot of it stemmed from them not having a plan in the first place. That's
Yeah.
my take, but um,
But it's impossible to plan in this kind of environment.
yeah. So I mean, I mean, Marvel's doing it.
Yeah. I mean,
So I don't know.
who knows with that too? I mean, they're not having the greatest success with everything that they're pumping out
No, they're
either, and
definitely not.
trying to have to adjust on the fly as well. But I don't
Yeah,
know. I just want more. There's enough
yeah,
of us out there that like this stuff.
yeah. I think so. I mean,
They're
I think
making
the money's
money.
there, and um, so. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I think that um, I think things will start to smoothen out because we know we have a movie next May, and then we have a movie after that. We
Yeah.
got Starfighter coming out after that, and I think maybe things are starting to getting back to normal. Like people still use COVID as an excuse in the classroom. Well, I'm like, all right, we're
Well
enough.
beyond that now.
We're well
Yeah.
beyond that. Whether you believe in it or not, there were issues with education and things like that.
Hmm.
Then they had their writer's strike and they had these different things leading, so that has been tumultuous time. And I do
Yeah.
think it probably is taking a little bit longer to get these corporations that are spending millions and millions and millions of dollars to
Hmm.
really get rolling. But we'll see. Like we'll see. Hopefully, with like the Ahsoka stuff and with Grogu and all that, Mando and Grogu movie, like things will kind of start a norm. We'll get a movie, we'll get a show, we get some animation thrown in there, the book series, whatever. We should be good. We should be good. Jack
Yeah.
says, yeah, it's a long process for sure. Thing now with Star Wars because they're trying to do stuff between the Acolyte and the Rise of Skywalker. Anything they do has to fit in or it gets attacked. Yeah,
Mhm.
everything's going to get attacked. I think
Yeah.
personally, but um,
Yeah. And you did say we're beyond COVID, but uh, the most recent death in the Star Wars world,
complications from
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah. So it's still there, folks, unfortunately,
yeah.
but not disrupting the world like it should or like it did. So, all right. So, anything more on that article?
I don't think so. I think that's a fun little idea. I don't know
Yeah.
how.
I
Yeah, we'll
mean,
see.
who knows? I mean, just because one planet's beside another planet, but these guys got to put out material, so they have to
Yeah,
have something to write about.
I know. Yeah, I
And
think
it leads us into talking about Ahsoka, so
there you
it's
go.
all good. It's all good. So next we have an article from who's this one from again? Game Radar.
Game
Yeah, from
radar.
Game Radar. Yeah. Okay, this one is there an author listed here? I don't see an author. Oh, here we go. By Megan Garside. Okay. Megan was interviewing Ahsoka star Ivana
Shankno,
Shankno. Is
I
that how you
think.
say it? Okay. And I mean, they made a whole meal out of this one comment. Basically,
Yeah, no.
they're interviewing they're interviewing her at I guess it was on the set of or not on the set, but on the media tour for Mithrigan, right? And she said, currently in Star Wars show second season is coming. Currently in the middle of filming, and promises a bigger and even more in-depth journey. I'm really excited for people to see it, and that spurred a whole entire article.
Well, I'm telling you, from seeing like the set pieces, like
Hmm.
I I'm pretty pumped, man. Like there's this
Yeah,
big. I wish this stuff was just out for people to see. I mean,
yeah,
I'm glad that I fly all the way to Japan, I get something, but what really upsets me is like the people who were in Japan and didn't get
hmm,
in. Like that, what happened to me in Anaheim, where like there's still things I haven't seen. I'm like, I think it's kind of ridiculous.
yeah,
Like,
yeah.
give us a couple months of it, and then let's drop that to everybody. I think the
Hmm.
fans would love it. But these big, massive archways and things like that, and like someone's definitely going into something that's going to be there's going to be trouble.
Yeah,
It looks great.
yeah.
So, and I don't know why I feel this way, but I mean, unless they're really happy with Rory, do you think the story changes at all? Because that's something I was going to talk about later, and they push things towards Shinhati, like
Chin.
maybe she ends up doing things, but then of course, you have all these different theories out there about like Abeloth and the mother and all this stuff. So,
Hmm.
and how she could kind of turn into that, and that really wouldn't leave a whole lot of room for change for Balin.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't know.
No, I don't think that Rory stepping in is going to change the story much. I wouldn't think that they would adjust things. I think they're just going to try to slip him in there as smooth as they can and go from there. I mean, there's no reason in my mind that you do anything differently with Ray or with Rory.
Right.
I think they could both handle the same. They're both big men.
Yeah.
Can handle. I mean, there's not a whole lot of different. I mean, definitely difference between the two, but as far as like their abilities,
Hoping that
what they can do acting wise.
his delivery is the same. Like I hope he tries. I know
Yeah.
sometimes because like we got Dumbledore and what
Mhm.
episodes 1 and 2, and then in 3 is it 3 it changed or 4? I think
I
maybe
don't
we got.
know. Yeah.
Anyways, we got that new Dumbledore, and they just went a completely different direction
Yeah.
with this old timid character, and then we had this wild Dumbledore that didn't make a lot of sense. I hope that they kind of keep him because like it was his delivery.
Mhm.
I don't want this to turn into a love fest for Balin Skull, but I mean, why not? But his delivery on things, like
Yeah.
I don't know how many times I've watched the YouTube clip where it's just all of him talking. Like that's all
Yeah.
it is him talking. I'm
Yeah.
like, ah,
There's some like it's so understated, right?
it's
It's
just
just
so
so like,
stated, straight to the point, like
yeah,
and
and he
honest
doesn't.
too. It was
Yeah, his presence is just so commanding, and
yeah,
he's so in control that he doesn't have to like be forceful in what he's saying at all. He could just say it, and you just like, I don't know, you could feel it radiating off the man. Like,
yeah,
oh, okay. Yeah, and I mean, in my mind, Rory can totally handle that. I mean,
yeah,
the Hound character from Game of Thrones could be very loud and boisterous at times, but other times too, he's very. I mean, he's an enormous man who just so dominating that he didn't have to raise his voice a lot of times either. You know what I mean? He could
no.
his presence, his simple presence can command the room. So there's definitely similarities there.
Yeah, for sure. There was this one scene because at first I was like, no, I know we've talked about this before. I actually made a short for it, but there's a scene in Game of Thrones like the last season, and it's not Arya. Is it Arya Stark? Who's the little
Yeah.
assassin one? Is it Arya?
Arya. Yeah.
And he gives her this like speech, and it's this
Mhm.
real like because when I think of the Hound, I just think of him kicking everyone's ass and fighting and chopping people up and
Mhm.
f bombs and everything else and
A lot
stuff.
of
But he
those.
gives this like really well delivered speech, and I was like, damn, like who
Yeah.
knew?
Yeah.
So I'm like, I'm comfortable with it. I'm
Yeah.
excited. I hope he doesn't try to change the character like they did that. And
Yeah.
I know that we don't want him just trying to like mimic Ray, but make it a little bit of his own. But you
Mhm.
got to stick. There's a reason that everybody loves Balin.
Yeah. Yeah. And
So
it's, I mean, it, the same sort of thing in Game of Thrones too. It's the writing too. Like it, he took that character from the Hound character is one that has a huge evolution. There's a lot of characters in Game of Thrones that have a huge evolution. I mean, Jamie Lannister in the very first episode throws a kid out of a window after
yeah,
getting caught doing what he was doing, and by the end of the series, you may not like Jamie Lannister, but you understand, like
yeah,
and the Hound is sort of the same way. Like
oh yeah,
he
tons.
was a freaking menace. You know what I mean? Just this evil incarnate. But by the end, you learn his story, and you see how the tenderness and how he cares and whatnot, and it's driven by the writing. It wasn't like him creating that character; it's him acting and taking what was written. And I think we're going to get the same thing in Ahsoka. It's the great writing for Balin. He's going to be picking up with that same sort of thing. You know what I mean?
I'm sold.
Yeah, me too. All right. Anything else on that article, Jimmy?
Nah, there's not much they can. I mean, she could
Yeah,
say. I will say like,
it's. I mean, it
happy New
is.
celebration. We're excited.
Yeah, yeah, it is exciting to hear that it's bigger and more in depth. And I think that's what people want. Like you said earlier, just being more expansive and
Yeah.
really going at it, going
There's
into
going to
it.
be a
So
lot of things happening too because I've already said Akbar versus Thrawn. So you're
yeah.
going to have this whole like commander of the sea or whatever. This whole naval battle concept going to be
Mhm.
happening in the space.
God,
That
so
that in
interesting.
itself is kind of cool
Yeah.
because the space battles have never made a whole lot of sense to me, given the fact that you can just turn around and run and
Yeah.
do other things. But
Space is so dimensional.
yeah, it's like
But,
they're in front of you, you're stuck. Like just go under them
why?
or over
Yeah.
them, or I mean, you can just whatever. So I'll be
Right.
curious how they handle that.
Yeah.
You have all that happening. You'll have you're going to have something with Ezra going on, and then you're going to have stuff happening in Peridia. Like I feel
Mhm.
like these episodes could be really long. Like we could be getting
Yeah.
more in depth. Because there's going to be all these things happening in different places, and you're going to got these different characters, and who knows what's going to be happening with Thrawn and the Night Sisters and all this stuff. So, I mean,
Yeah.
whoa, looking
Whoa.
wild here. Getting excited about season 2.
Man. I hope these are long episodes and they get in depth. And that the whole idea with Thrawn and Akbar, it that so intrigues me.
Yeah.
Like you have Akbar built up in your head as this great tactician or whatever, you know, but through the movies there's only slight, you know what I mean? You have a few minutes
Yeah.
with Akbar, and even in Clone Wars,
Too.
there's that whole episode that takes place on the water planet, great
Moncal.
episodes. Yeah, on Moncal, great episodes, and you have him there, but they still don't really get into him as the admiral. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, man, it would be really interesting to see to really dive into
Yeah,
that
and that's the
character. And
stuff like people bust on Solo, but one of the reasons I love that so much is we get to see Chewie literally do everything we have been
yeah,
waiting to see Chewie do,
right.
and I'm like, see, pull on, I mean, some of it was cheesy and whatever, but I'm here for it, and
Yeah.
that's another character that like you have. I mean, it's a trap, like
Hmm.
let's build that up and let's go get it,
Yeah.
and then the more you get with these characters, the more the original movies will mean.
Yeah, for sure.
And I mean, we
Yeah.
do know how he ends, which I'm still kind of pissed about that from the Last
Yeah.
Jedi. But
Yeah. It
maybe
wasn't the
that's
fitting
the one
ending.
other reason I don't enjoy the movie.
Yeah.
Taking out
Yeah.
Akbar like a chump.
All right. So the next article we have is from our buddy over at CBR, Joshua Patton.
Yeah,
This was interesting, and it kind of speaks of. We'll talk about it, but that this might be the end for our beloved Ahsoka. But Joshua wrote an article called "Star Wars Might Have Retconned a Major Character's Fate, and It'll Impact an Upcoming Disney Plus Show." So Joshua's article, you definitely should go out there and read it. Joshua's a good friend of ours. Well, he's been on the show.
even after I
Took
was
Jimmy to
mean.
task a bit, but he's
Yeah.
great. I've been talking back and forth with Josh. He's an awesome guy. We have a lot in common. Not to mention we're all Pennsylvania boys, but
Yinzers.
uh-huh. So he's talking about this was the comic book, right? The comic book adaptation of
Yes.
Rise of
People are
Skywalker.
losing their mind because they have this one image. Let me see if I can find
Yeah,
it here. There it is on the screen. You have all these Jedi.
there it is.
And
Mm-hmm.
then supposedly, you can see all them, bam, 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 bam. And then back here, you can see what looks to be, I mean, a Togruta, white
Mm-hmm.
lightsaber,
Mm-hmm.
her Leku are not that long. So it's not Shak T.
Yep.
She got a trim, which I think that would hurt.
Yeah.
So, but so this is people losing their mind over this. And I think this is kind of the basis of
Yeah.
Josh's. And Josh isn't the only one. There's been a lot of people freaking out about this one panel in the
Once
comic book.
panel. Yep. Yep. Yeah. In the obviously in the movie, she hears the voices from the Jedi from the past, but here we are, of a visual representation of the Jedi of the past. And I mean, say what you want. There's no doubt. I mean, what other Jedi could that be? The white
Yeah,
lightsaber, and yeah. I
Jack
got a
likes the artwork.
question. Yeah, great art. But I got a question on lightsabers. Okay, where do you get the white lightsaber? Okay, so
My
she
understanding.
had a blue and a green.
Mm-hmm.
So when she was a Padawan, she went into the caves. Now, did she find two crystals, or did one crystal speak
Well,
to her? She built her first lightsaber, and then why did she get the second one? And then from there, like I know, you could have a blue lightsaber and turn to the dark side, and you could bleed that crystal to red. But how do you get these? How do you get a white lightsaber, or how do
in
you get
the
an orange
Ahsoka
one?
novel by I think E.K. Johnson,
Hmm.
I think that's yours, but I'll look it up here in a second whenever I get a minute. But um, she fights an Inquisitor, and she basically reverse bleeds them.
Mm.
So like what we saw in Acolyte doing
Hmm.
bad, she
Yeah,
basically does the opposite to it, and it turns it to be pure white.
interesting.
I think that's going to have significance later on. And then I don't know about. They never show her on Ilum
Mm-hmm.
getting her sabers. I think she just has
Yeah.
two from the get go. And
Mm-hmm.
then Anakin gives her two during season 7.
Yeah.
Um, and then are those the white ones or are those still blue? And I can't remember.
I don't think they were white, but I'm not
No,
100% sure.
but in the book, she reverse bleeds him after she kills one of the Inquisitors
Okay.
on this planet, and they've kind of retconned that a smidge, I think. But regardless, I mean that as of right now, I believe that's the story until
Yeah.
we're told something else.
Well, that's interesting.
Jack
Yeah.
says, "Is that all Force Ghost, or are they Jedi connected via the Path? Is that possible?" What am I getting at is Ahsoka may not be a Force Ghost, but a projection like Luke was. And yeah, I
Mm.
mean, it could be.
That's,
Yeah,
yeah. I can't. I didn't read the comic, so I don't know.
I did not collect this one because I was like, I've seen the movie. I didn't really
Mhm.
think they were going to make many changes. I do wish I had this little clip right here, though. Like, this is pretty sweet. But yeah, I don't know what to think. Um, Mace has got both hands in this, so he's all better, and uh, Anakin's got all of his. But yeah, so I don't know what's happening back then. You got lots and lots of Jedi in the background. We don't know who any of them are.
Yeah.
I think that the
Uh,
artist was just what we all wanted to see in the
yeah.
movie with these Force ghosts. We got voices, which is fine, but given that you can't really paint, you can't draw voices
Right.
very well, and they got what they wanted. They got us talking.
Hmm. Yeah. And to me, I mean, it's it's going to be whatever they want it to be, right? I mean,
Yeah, I
yeah.
mean,
This is something to talk about. That do they kill Ahsoka at the end of season 2?
yeah, that's kind
But
of what we're getting to. Yeah,
yeah, but at the same time, it's going to be whatever they've changed comic. Things that are canon in comics. They've changed it before. Nothing's nothing's so set in stone that they can't go back on it. Whatever works for the story is what they're going to do. I mean, if Ahsoka season 2 does bonkers great, and they need Ahsoka to still be alive for a season 3, Ahsoka's going to be around for a season 3. You know what I'm
yeah.
saying?
I mean,
So,
with the world between worlds and all that stuff, I mean, they can do whatever.
mm-hmm,
And Dave says, and don't deal in absolutes. Like, it is what it is. And
mm-hmm,
he's famously said that like the stories can be a little bit different. It's not necessarily retconning. It's seeing the
yeah,
story like the telephone game where
mm-hmm,
it's a different person's
yeah,
perspective or whatever.
yep. That's how I like to look at it too. Every story is told from someone else's perspective, and there's slight differences with it all.
Yeah, quick
Yeah,
fix. Yeah,
yeah,
who knows? I
that's
mean,
totally possible. Yeah,
so they have so many comics come out. I mean, we're in a bunch of different stories are happening simultaneously, and I mean, I wonder because they got like Marvel's doing it, Dark Horse is doing stuff.
mm-hmm,
So I mean, I don't know, but there hasn't been any like this guy's been fired because of this.
right.
So
Yeah, I don't imagine that Kathleen Kennedy is looking over every single comic just to make
yeah,
sure
just
that
want to read the
it all
comic.
fits. They're doing their thing, and like I said, nothing, everything can be undone. There's nothing that you're going to draw or write in a comic book that's going to be, you know,
Yeah.
set in stone for that can't be undone, can't be retold.
Yeah, I don't want to
So
get into. I don't want things being rewritten like they do. How many Supermen we've had, how many Spider-Men we've
right.
had, how many Batman. Like, I want one continuous story. I think that
Hmm.
you add people and you just go with what's there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
think.
I mean, they've already gone and taken all the legend stuff and wiped that slate clean. So you have to have that separation there. Yeah,
Yeah.
but yeah, I don't want the Jedi to be like the Marvel or the DC superheroes that they're constantly changing. It's different power levels, different abilities, different characters. You know what I mean? Like, just I want this to be one continuous story. That some little minute things may change here and there. That's okay. And
Yeah.
like I said, I can in my head I can say I can, like you said, with what like Filoni said, it's a story told by someone else's point of view. Things are gonna get lost in translation. Things are gonna be interpreted differently. That's an easy way for me to look at these sort of things. Yeah.
Yeah. So
Okay. So we have one more article to talk about.
stop sharing for a second.
Yeah, we invited Joshua to come into our chats, but he's actually off seeing the new Superman
Yeah.
advanced screening
Yeah.
for
If
the
you had
rest
an
of us.
Amazon account, I didn't realize that until the tickets sold out. I'd have been there for sure. Let me see. Which one am I looking
Yeah.
for?
So
Boy.
the last article we had was from Star Wars Net, and it's Ahsoka season 2. 4 directors revealed. Dave Filoni and Bryce Dallas Howard confirmed to return. Now, Bryce Dallas Howard didn't do anything in Ahsoka season 1, did she?
No.
No.
But she
So
has been part of
that's
Star Wars.
phrased a little. Yeah. I guess that's the way to look at it. But yeah, of course, Dave Filoni is going to direct these. This is his baby, so he's going to do some of the directing for sure. We'll talk a little bit more about Bryce Dallas Howard because that is some exciting news there. But did you get to watch any of the? I think you said you were going to rewatch some of these
I
episodes that
did
were.
not. I mean, we actually, Molly and I, when we were doing our little like Star Wars thing that we did when that one day you couldn't be here, we
Yeah,
rewatched the first 2 episodes. So that was Master and Apprentice. I remember Shadow Warrior. That was a good one. Still not my favorite, like everybody else's because of the Clone Wars stuff. And then chapter Far, Far Away. I think that's the last episode. I think.
part 6 is far, far away. So was it 6 episodes or was it 8?
Cannot remember. I think
All
maybe
right.
8. That might have been the one where I think that's the one where they finally found each other.
Mm,
So
yeah, that could be. So yeah, what do you know about? We got Jennifer Getzinger and Anders Engstrom.
yeah, so Getzinger Part 6, Far, Far Away.
Mm,
Um, the one I didn't recognize, Tahu and Jack and loving Bryce Dallas Howard as well. I did bring up Anders Engstrom, and this article they missed a period somewhere because it makes it look like uh, Howard did all this stuff.
are you saying something on the internet was not well edited, Jimmy?
Well, I gotta be careful though because every time I think people aren't going to find out, they find out. He directed 17 episodes of the TV show C, which was
Oh,
I
the
did not
Jason
see it.
Momoa one.
Jason
Yeah,
Momoa, he's
that's one of those Apple ones, I think.
yeah.
Yeah,
He
yeah.
directed 2 episodes of Hannah, which
Okay.
I want to watch.
Yeah, so
Percy
did I.
Jackson, 3
Okay.
episodes of Percy Jackson Olympians, which I've watched a couple of those episodes. Are really good, much better than the
Are they
movies.
really?
And Taboo, the movie, or no, the TV show, 4 episodes. And then he has like The Tunnel, Thicker Than Water. These are all TV series. Then he has some that are just in other, like he's from, I'm not sure exactly where he's from. Director Anders Engstrom is most known for, he doesn't say where he's from though. But with a name like that, it's,
Swedish, maybe
yeah, I'm thinking Swedish,
somewhere
uh,
in that corner of
somewhere
the
in that
world.
vicinity, northern portion. Um, but yeah, so this guy has quite a resume, and he's done
Yeah.
quite a few things here in the States as well. So, I mean, yeah, I'm here for it. And then
Yep.
technically, if you're doing 8 episodes and each person got 2,
Hmm.
then that would be all 4 of your directors,
Yep.
possibly.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's what it is, but we saw that with, wasn't that the case with Skeleton Crew, where each director had 2 episodes? I think.
Think you're right on that, but I don't know. Did Bryce Dallas Howard? I think just had the one.
Did you just do the one?
I think
Okay.
so. So I
Yeah,
hope
I'll
she
check
gets
that out.
2, and I hope she gets 2 in this series.
Yeah, I'll have to check that out
Yeah.
between reading Star Wars and editing Star Wars, and so.
Hmm.
But yeah, so I'm. This is a good crew so far. I mean,
Yeah.
obviously Dave is getting better as he goes. I mean, I still think there's some things that the writing for season 2 was for season 1 was better than expected. In my opinion, I thought it was going to be a little campy, but I thought it was all right. Of course, Getzinger, that was fine. I had heard that there was some stuff cut out of her episode that would have made things make a little bit more sense, but who knows? And then, of course, we knew Howard. I mean, we all love her, so whatever
Yes,
she
yeah.
does is going to be.
I am so on board for her getting into
And
this.
yeah, so we talked about her maybe coming in for like Kenobi season 2 or something like that, like just
Yeah.
giving her a movie. Like she needs something. Like
Yeah.
and
No,
I don't
I
know.
was listening to Force Center today, and they were talking about this article as well, and they had mentioned how if you think about the episodes of everything that Dallas Howard has directed, they are so memorable. Like
Yeah,
like she does have a style. She does put a stamp on these things. It's her work. You know what I'm saying? And it's memorable. It's exciting. It's well done. So I'm super excited to see that she's in the fold for this. I mean,
yeah,
the direction that we're hoping this goes, bigger, more epic. I mean, there's the Bryce Dallas Howard episodes are just going to be phenomenal. How can they
yeah.
not? How can they not?
Let me see. I'm gonna just check if I can see who directed. Well, it doesn't say right off the bat. It'll be some digging, but yeah. So, anyways, yeah, I'm excited. If those are our 4 directors, so be it. I'd be
Yeah.
surprised if they didn't have more coming in, and they've got themselves a little crew that they love. I'd like to see Deborah Chow get another shot. And I know people loved her Mando stuff, maybe not so much her, having run of Kenobi, but I think that given the restrictions she was under, I think she can come back and do a pretty good job.
Yes. Yes, Tahoe. Yes, it was.
Yeah. So and her first episode was the one with the big dinosaur ATST.
Yep.
So that was kind of funny that's where she something she's familiar with.
Yep.
So, but yeah, no,
Yep.
I'm excited for all of these directors. I think that maybe a little tighter knit group. They can all kind of work together, get this going through, make sure everything's because I didn't realize that they do this on a lot of shows. Like, and I was watching. Like I said, I told you guys today, I started that master's course on Ted
Yeah.
Lasso, and he's talking about stuff, and they're like, "Oh yeah, we had like 3 or 4 directors over our 10 episodes." So I was kind of know why I was kind of assuming this is like a Star Wars thing that they did, but apparently that's what you do. I know they do it for different TV shows and stuff, but like 23 episodes is something I get like changing that model, but.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would be down for just these 4,
Mm-hmm.
and because I mean, oh, there's your favorite movie.
Yeah.
So,
If anybody hasn't seen that already, run out and see it.
yeah,
You can curse
so,
me later.
yeah. But anyway, so yeah, so there's that. Yeah, I mean, there's we're getting these little bits. We're getting a build up towards things. It's exciting that they announced this. I'm surprised they were able to keep it till now, given the fact
Yeah.
that they've been filming since the end of April. So, but yeah, who knows? I mean, I'm
Yeah.
here for it.
Well, I guess with Andor taking up all the oxygen, you can do a lot of things undercover. All the Star Wars people were. I mean, we talked about Andor for 3 months, I think. So
Yeah, and we could probably keep doing it if we didn't think
yeah,
we'd lose
you
our
really
5
could.
followers. So, but yeah, I don't know. Getting connections to other shows is exciting. Getting
Mm-hmm.
that list of directors, and then you know, there's been rampant speculation on what's going to happen. I think it's going to be big.
Yeah.
Ivana said it's going to be big. It is already. She knows she's in it. Of course, they can't tell us anything, so
Yeah.
we'll see. I guess.
Is there? Do you have a story in mind that you'd like to see play out?
Man, so I did a little deep diving up.
Mm-hmm.
um, I wanted to learn more about Abeloth because everyone's been talking about Abeloth, the mother.
Mm-hmm.
We've never seen her, and again, all this is legends.
Yeah.
So I'm just going to read you the first little bit.
Okay.
And she and so supposedly she was born 100,000 years before the Battle of Yavin.
Okay.
All right. And of course, when we think canon with the Dawn of the Jedi is going to take us back 25,000 years.
Yeah.
But that's there's a death date. 44 ABY is when she supposedly died. Um, After the Battle of Yavin. So this is all legend stuff.
Yeah.
Um, but rumor has it we'll be chatting Andor soon. I
Mm.
don't know. Oh yeah, we will. Okay. Yeah, I forgot next week's episode. We'll tie into it a smidge or a lot. We'll see. It's not all Andor. Don't worry, folks. Um, this is from RJ. She's ancient, powerful, and dangerous, very dangerous. But you're onto her now. She's never what she appears. Remember that. That was Mara Jade talking to Luke, I'm assuming. Abeloth, self-styled as the beloved queen of the stars, and also known as the bringer of chaos and the destructor. I wonder if she's related to that lady from the first Ghostbusters. Because isn't she the destructor, the traveler, all that stuff?
Mm-hmm.
She freaked me out, man. Uh,
Yeah.
anyway, so was extremely powerful force entity. Her dark side powers and immortality derived from her being corrupted by drinking from the font of power and bathing in the pool of knowledge. Um, and then it says, first lived as the servant, a mortal woman who served the powerful ones on the jungle planet over 100,000 years before the Battle of Yavin. She eventually became the mother, keeping peace between the father's warring son and daughter as part of the family. However, she grew old, while the father and her children did not, and she feared she would lose her precious family in desperate attempt to hold on to it. She drank from the fount of power and the pool of knowledge, and this corrupted her, turned her into the scary monster woman that they show. The font of power is a nexus of dark side force energy located on Abeloth's planet, Abeloth's cave. And that's what got me thinking right there is Abeloth's cave, because
Mm.
there is in that, Jack might be able to remember this too, is, again, that trailer is so quick and you're sitting there trying to we were trying not to record to get in trouble and things like that. Although, I mean, you probably could have done it just for our own. But they did have people walking around saying not to. Not everyone follows the rules, but there was this big entrance way, and I'm like, oh man,
Mm.
And you had Balin talking about a power which you couldn't understand.
Yeah.
I never really gave this whole Abeloth thing a lot of play because I'm like, that's really out there, like that's
Yeah.
like that, the Mortis arc stuff. I was like,
Yep.
man, but I mean, the man Filoni did bring in the World Between Worlds, so who knows?
Yeah.
So, um, potential's there. It makes sense in the little not knowing what's really going to happen, and you start pinning things together and what other people are saying. You see a big giant archway that looks like it's going down into a cave. You see a thing called the Abeloth's Cave, the Font of Power, and Balin's talking about a power like we've never known before.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah. Sure
I don't
does.
know how that works and what happens, and is that the end of Sabine and Ahsoka on that planet? Like, do they die? And now she's a Force ghost, and she shows up in the Rise of Skywalker. I mean,
Mm.
it all could fit together.
You could.
That domino pushed if you wanted it to.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but I don't see Dave killing Ahsoka off without it being big and public.
Yeah.
I don't feel like he's going to kill her off on some planet that no one knows what the hell's going on.
Right.
No, she probably will save uh, all of species kind and all the galaxies everywhere.
Yeah.
Because I don't know if there's a force user that's strong enough in this time period. I guess Luke's still kind of running around a little bit, so who knows?
Yeah. Even if that panel's true and Ahsoka is dead come Rise of Skywalker, I mean, it could be well after Ahsoka season 2.
Yeah,
There's anything can happen. But yeah, I think you're right on it. I mean, just in season 1 with the statues and stuff like that, we definitely got to be going into the Mortis gods and whatnot. There has to be something along those lines.
something
But
funky's happening.
yeah, I mean, how into it would you want them to get with that sort of stuff? You know what I mean? Like that's sort of. I
If
mean,
it
you're
handled
you're
on Peridia, they can go as deep as they want. It'd be kind of
Yeah.
cool. Like I do enjoy those. You know, Taylor and I back, um, like I don't remember when we did those episodes, but we did those deep dives into those
Yeah.
3 episodes,
Hmm.
and like I learned a ton. I mean, I watched them multiple times, and then I did some research, and I like the lore. I love these stories. You
Hmm.
know, if it's self-contained in Peridia, then they can go as deep as they want. I just because my thing is like you have something massive that big possibly happen. You have this little war with Thrawn going on, or bigger war with Thrawn, and then and everything is going to die down because we're 9 years into the Republic, the New Republic.
Hmm.
You've only got 20 more years to the First Order coming back, and
Yeah.
how does that work with the Emperor and somehow he returns kind of thing. So
Yeah. I'm just, for me, I'm not like, if you're going to delve into the Mortis gods and whatnot, to me, it seems like you're getting to the heart of what the Force is, right? Or at least closer to an explanation to everything. I don't know if I want that.
mm,
I
that's valid, man.
Yeah, that's the one thing I'm worried about too with like the Dawn of the Jedi. Like
How it all
if
started.
it's going to be a story about how it all started, like
It better be
if
good.
it's good, yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm thinking here too. Like if you're going to go, I mean, the Mortis gods could be separate, and it could just be they could just be like. I mean, I kind of look down at them as demigods or whatever.
Yeah.
Maybe that doesn't explain the Force completely, or anything like that. So maybe they are just characters that we can delve into. But I get a little scared about anybody having the decisive word on this is what the Force
The
is.
force
This
is
is how it's like. George never wrote all that stuff down. George
no
doesn't have a full overarching. It's not like J.R.R. Tolkien who built this whole world, or Brandon Sanderson or Robert Jordan, who they wrote the entire world, all the lore, everything. George didn't do that with Star Wars. We're left to come up
there's
with some of
some
this on our own, fill in pieces
yeah
ourselves, and I like that.
there are some rumors that he had a sequel trilogy planning and it was
Yeah,
going to like deep dive into like into the force, like literally into the force, as far as like diving, kind of like the episode where Yoda goes off and finds the wills.
yeah,
It
yeah.
was going to kind of be like in that depth, and it was going to be like I remember this came out 3 or 4 years ago. It might be this might be what Jack's talking about. Um, he wrote stuff, but he never like none of it's ever come to for we've
Right.
never seen any of it. And supposedly, possibly, he had this really weird idea for the next 3 movies that was going to like dive into the force, like kind of what you're talking about.
Yeah.
But I mean, then he goes and sells it. I will say that Trial of the Jedi's does something with the force, and it brings in a divergence in the force, kind of like an um, acolyte, right? It's like I love how they're kind of. I
Hmm.
know people don't love acolyte, whatever, blah blah blah, but they're using these ideas like there's this thing that's this whole planet that's kind of wrapped up into this really intense thing. I don't want to ruin that story for anybody.
Yeah, I'm
We are
20% in.
hopefully reviewing it um, here soon, but um, if this is that kind of story, without giving it away, the stakes are huge, but it's kind of contained into this area, but there are repercussions throughout the galaxy in Trials of the Jedi. We'll just say that things that are happening with the blight and the nameless and stuff like that's all connected to this planet. And I thought they did a
Hmm.
good job. And they, uh, man, I'm trying to decide how much to say and how much, um, and just how things end and like it could work because I
Yeah.
think it works in the High Republic as far as what we've just got in these first 3 phases and how this book ends and like the overarching story where the stuff that Markion does it does damage more than he's even ready for. I
Yeah.
mean, he tries to take credit for it, but so it could work. it just needs to be written well. It needs to make
Yeah.
sense. It needs to show respect to expanded universe stuff. If they're going to bring Abeloth in,
Mhm.
they need to show her respect, and he needs to use some of these ideas, I think, as a way to bring in those fans that are upset. Like, hey, I really liked how he did this. And that's all you got to do is give him one little nugget. And then
Mhm.
you put another Reese's Pieces down and another Reese's Pieces down. And next thing you know, you eat them right into your house.
That's right.
So I busted you because
Yeah.
you don't eat candy.
No, I like Reese's Pieces.
There you go.
But yeah, I mean, I'm for it, and I think they're going to do a good job. Yeah, I and to Jack's point here, I know Dave has the in with George, and he's telling George's story. He's got the blessing. It's just, I don't know, it can be worrisome,
I think they could tell the story without doing what you're afraid of. Like they
Yeah,
could tell
I
you,
I do too.
this
I
is how
just
this part of the force, like on this planet, works. Like if they dive into like this dark side thing, this will just be one powerful entity,
yeah,
one powerful thing.
right.
You've got the Bendu over here
Hmm.
doing this thing, and he's done it. Like no one
Yeah,
understands the Bendu. Is the Bendu
no,
a person? Is it a thing? Is
right.
it? I've talked about that endlessly. Like I
Hmm.
still think Ahsoka could be a Bendu eventually because
Yeah.
I am the Bendu, right? Like
Hmm.
the one in the middle. So there's all these things, and they're starting to kind of add up, and none of them
Tell the complete
explain
story.
anything except
Yeah.
for what they are.
Hmm.
And so, like, you could
Yeah.
have a really fun lore-driven story, and that just gives us more stuff to like. Hey, well, remember what happened in Ahsoka season 2 with Abeloth and the power of the font, and the font's power, and the
Yeah.
power of all. This is going to have these repercussions, and
Hmm.
I think Star Wars kind of needs to get a little bit more mystical and stuff like that. They've
Yeah.
got to do something to bring people back into it.
Hmm.
The between using like force users as superheroes and stuff like that, like I love the High Republic for those reasons. Like this last phase, one of the young reader books by George Mann, just absolutely made it like this, the stuff you're talking about, Indiana Jones style adventure, good
Hmm.
bad guy. I mean, it had everything you wanted. I'm like, that's what you need in a movie or a TV show. So
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Patrick's,
I am down for it.
yeah,
Yeah.
something, and that's another thing. Like, yeah, you do that, and it's his
Hmm.
little pocket of the
Yeah.
universe is so big, the
Oh
galaxy
yeah.
is massive. You can
Hmm.
have these things. I know people didn't like the witches in Acolyte, but to think that only
It's
one group of people can use the Force, when we know
yeah.
that the Jedi, and we know the Jedi and the Sith kind of run parallel to one another, but to think that they're the only ones who can do it is
Yeah.
asinine. And
Yeah.
that, and I still say that, with
Yep.
Jedi and all these things, we have it. So
Yeah. No, they
Afro would
can
be.
definitely, yeah, certainly would be. They can definitely do a good job with it. And I think, like you said, compartmentalize it. It could still be big and broad and tease out some of the details. What I don't want to see, and I'm not expecting this in any way, but I don't want Star Wars to ever have to completely erase something that they did. I
Oh
don't want
yeah,
Yeah, I don't want they release 6 new movies and then 10 years down the road, like, oh, that's all legends now. You know what I mean? I don't ever want to see that.
no,
It
I
was
don't think
one
it
thing.
works for Star Wars.
Yeah, it was one thing for the novels, the books. That's it. We can live with that. We have to live with that. It happened.
Yeah,
But I do not want to see the movies go down that path
no,
where,
you know
yeah.
that's the thing too. Is like we complain about the comics book movies doing that, but that's how they do it in comics. They
Oh
reset things.
yeah. Yeah,
They
they
have
reset
different
the world.
universes. I don't
Hmm.
necessarily want that in Star Wars. Like we talked a little bit about the new Lego. Bricks of or build the galaxy, rebuild the
Hmm.
galaxy. I can't remember
Yeah.
what it's called, but like that's a fun little sandbox to play in and do
Yep.
silly things. Um, but I want the stories to mean something.
Hmm.
Do they build on each other? That'd be cool. But if we get these self-contained stories that give us a little bit of lore and just give us something to munch on,
Yeah.
I'm here for it as well.
Yep. Absolutely.
So, but yeah,
Absolutely.
I don't know.
Yeah. I
Cool.
think we came to a good consensus here.
Yeah, I think so.
We
People
said a
want
lot of
to.
things and nothing at all.
There you go. That's usually how I. That's how I live my life. Patrick says he loves the Lego Star Wars. Yeah, we talked
Yeah.
about that. How it's just kind of like it's like this one place that like our warring fandom doesn't mind what happens as long as
And
it
that
makes.
was, yeah, it was so great to hear you guys announced that on the podcast. I don't know where you found it. That I guess there's going to be a new one this year.
Yeah,
That's
September.
that's amazing. Like,
Yeah,
that's such great news. Like,
yeah, because
I
you came
know.
on it with me and Jack, and we did a
Mhm.
review on it, didn't we? Yeah,
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 it was so much fun.
yeah. That was
But
pretty
yeah,
cool.
it's good to know that that's coming. I love like that, the Tales of stuff, like how it there isn't a whole lot of fanfare. It's just all of a sudden it seems to just pop up out of nowhere,
Yeah,
and
which
it's
I
like
like.
this great Star Wars gift, and it's
So,
all been good.
yeah, for sure.
I mean,
All right. Well,
anything more, Jimmy?
I mean, we could talk. I think we could probably do another episode just on like things that could happen because I mean, there's a lot of stuff, you know.
Yeah,
But yeah, I mean, I think we need to wait till we get closer and we start getting some tidbits and things like that.
hmm
Tahu says, "Good luck to New South Wales tonight for State of Origin decider." I don't know what that means. Good luck to USA Eagles against Spain and Charlotte, North Carolina this Saturday. Rugby love.
hello.
And then Pop Tower says he loves Tales. So Tales of the Jedi and Tales of stuff. So yeah, I hope we get those every May the 4th. But yeah, folks, if you have any ideas, what do you think? What do you want to see happen? How are you excited for the directors? Are you excited that it's bigger and it's bolder and it's going to be awesome? Let us know in the comments. Let us, email us, explore the force on all social medias. We have a Discord if you want to join that. Reach out to us. We'll get you into it. We can talk about this. We'd love to continue this conversation.
Yeah, for sure. And I'm sure there'll be much more of it to come down the line as we get closer and closer.
And maybe a rewatch to make Tahu happy.
Yeah,
We got to keep Tahu happy.
I'm down for it. The rewatch episodes are easy.
Oh yeah, it's happening in front of you. So
Yep.
All right, folks. Well, you good, Mike?
I'm good.
All right. Well, I hope you get some better weather the rest of this week.
Yeah, me too.
And the chafing goes to minimum. Maybe
Yeah.
have some candy and put a smile on your face.
It has been a good week. No
Maybe
one's
it's
died
an
this week,
execution
and I
from
haven't
the
been to the
Lego.
hospital this week. So
Oh, that's true.
that's a plus.
Yeah, that's true. You've been there a little bit too often, but
Yeah,
maybe this is karma for saying mean things about Lego people.
maybe.
My last comment of the night: Lego people lives matter, and we're out.